So yesterday we discussed how to create a Docker file, and after that how to create a Docker image from Docker file, and after that how to create a container out of Docker image. So these are the things we have discussed. And while creating the Docker file, we have executed few commands like how to, what are the commands we have used, from we have used, and run we have used. Okay. And also today we'll create one more image. Okay, let me create one Docker file first. So vi, so our Docker file name is same. We'll take the same file name, Docker file. Okay, so I want to create this from CentOS. Okay, and I want to create one work directory. That means by default, after I create the container from this Docker file and Docker image, by default, I will be into this directory. My present working, if you type pwd, so you will be in /tmp. So that is the meaning of this command. And after that, if you want to create any file, run. What I'm doing here, I am executing this command echo, and I'm redirecting this output to one file called test file, so that a test file will be created, and it will be having the text of hello, this is Docker file. So this text will be redirected to this output file. Okay, and I am creating one environment variable. So here environment variable is nothing but, so here for one memory location we are giving our name. So for example, okay, so this is the complete your operating system. Lot of files are there. Okay, in all the files, so these are the places where you want to use your name. Okay, so like this 100 places are there. 100 places. Today my name is Vinay. Okay, so I am the username. So these are the references for your user. Okay, so in all the places, what it is will show. So in all the places, it will have my name, Vinay, 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 Vinay. So if I want to change this Vinay to some other name, like Vikram or some other name, so I have to change it in 100 places, right? Wherever my name is used, I want to change that name in all the places. Instead of that, if I create one variable here, okay, and that variable will be assigned with the value of Vinay here. In the future, if I want to change the name from Vinay to some Vijay or Vikram, I no need to replace that value in all the places. Okay. Here I will create one variable called my name. My name equals to Vinay. So here, what I will do is, in all the places, I will use the variable only. My name, my name, my name. In all the places, I will be using the variable name only. In the future, if I want to change the value for this variable, I will not give directly here. Instead of my name, I will not be giving Vinay here. I will be changing here only. In the variables section only, I will be changing. So that by default, as we have changed the value here, so in all the places, the value will be reflecting to the new value. Yes or no? If I directly mention Vinay, Vinay, Vinay here, I have to mention the another name Vijay, Vijay, Vijay in all the places. That is called hard coding. We are directly giving the value. So that is called hard coding. Hard coding is not a good practice. Instead of that, what I will do is I will create one variable and I will assign a value to it. And in all the places wherever the value needs to be accessed, I will use this variable name. So that in the future, if this value needs to be changed, I no need to change it in all the places. Instead of changing in all the places, I will be changing in one place only. If I change in one place, by default, this variable is used in all the places, so that this variable is pointing to this value. So that in all the places also, it will be pointing to the new value only. So that is the concept of variables, environmental variables. Yeah. And also I want to copy the file. Okay, so with these instructions, now I am creating one Docker file. Okay, now the file is created. Now, how can I create the Docker image with this one? So here, if you observe add test.tar.gz2/tmp, what does it mean? So there are multiple files are there. We are zipping that file together. Okay, so that this test.tar.gz file will be created, and I'm adding this zip file to this /tmp folder. Okay, so what is the difference between this add and copy? Means copy means only file will be copied. Okay, this add means what will happen is, if I add this file to this folder, what will happen is, by default all the files will be unzipped, untarred. Okay, so if we give any tar file and after zipping that file, how can we extract those files? First we have to unzip that file, and after that we have to untar, then only we can able to see the files. But here, if I use add test.tar.this2/tmp, what will happen? This unzipping and untar will be done automatically. You will only see test file only. You will not see test.tar.gz. That is the meaning of add command. Now let me create few files. Touch tst1, touch tst2. These are the two files. Okay. Now I want to create a tar file. Tar -cvf. What are the files we are using? tst1, tst2. These are the two files I want to create the tar file. Okay. Now type ls. Yeah. Where is that? Where is the file, guys? We are creating one tar file, right? So this is the command tar -cef tst1 tst2. Whether the tst1 and tst2 are there or not. Okay. One second, guys. So what is the command for using tars-cef only, right? Yeah. So here this test3 is the tar file. Okay. So this test3 is containing test1 and test2. So that is the reason this test3 is the tar name. We have to give the tar name extensively, right? So tar -cvf dot, sorry, cef. So you can give any name. So loan dot tar. So we are creating this tar file for these two files, tst1, tst1 and tst2. Okay, yeah. So now this tar file is created. See, tar files is created. So all the tar files are created with red color only, right? So that is the reason now you can able to see this star file is created. After that, what we have to do? We have to zip this star file. What is the command? Zip. If you want to unzip, unzip. If you want to zip, if you want to zip, the command is zip. 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 What is the file name? Loan.tar. Sorry, I given wrong name. Loan.tar. Okay, now type ls. Now we have this loan.tar.gz. Okay, now let me open this VI file. VI Docker file. Why? Because here I have given test file, but it is not the test file, right? What is the file name? The file name is loan, not test. Here I am just showing like this. Yesterday we have executed only from and run. So only these are the two commands we have executed. So like this, we can execute n number of commands. So that is what I wanted to explain here. So for that reason, I have chosen this work directory, env, copy and add. So these are the similar commands, 3 or 4 commands which we use frequently. So that is the reason I am going to create one Docker file with these commands. Now I am saving this. Okay, now we have created the Docker file, and after now I am going to create one Docker image. How can I create the Docker image? What is the command, guys? What is the command? Docker image. First, let me see the images list. Docker images. The A1 test 2. So these are the list of images that are available. Now let me create one more Docker image. Docker build. After that,
name.
okay. Docker build -t. Docker image. What is the Docker image name you want to create? Today is 29. 29 underscore June. Okay, so this is the command only, right? So Docker build -t Docker file. So this Docker file is already we are using, so we are not supposed to give the same name again. So that is the reason I have given the different name. What is the name? Docker build -t 29th June. 29th June is our Docker image name. Okay, it will be taking the Docker file from the current directory. So that is the reason we no need to give -f and the file name. Okay, now here one is failed. Copy failed. File not found in build context are excluded by .docker ignore start test file. File does not exist. So here if you observe, so here I have used this copy test file to /tmp. I am giving the instruction to copy this file to this directory. Instead of do that, if that operation needs to be done, then what is the prerequisite? First of all, a file has to be present with this name in the current directory or not. Even if this operation is also, if we want to perform this operation, the prerequisite, first of all, loan.tar.gz file has to be available in the current directory. So that is the reason I have created the tar and I have created the zip file. But did I create the test file?
No.
I did not create the test file, right? So if you want, you can type ls. Did you see any test file here? Test 3, test C, test 1, tst1, tst2. but test file with that name, there is no file available. So that is the reason that operation is failed. But remaining operations are successful. Here you can see step 1 from CentOS. This is done. Step 2, work directory running, removing intermediate container. Step 3, this one is running, removing this. Step 4, env myname vinay running. So all the steps are completed except the last step. Now let me check whether the Docker image is created or not. Is this created?
No, sir.
No, but it has
Created but not with the same name, sir.
Sorry? Why the test file is not created? Okay. Already there is one directory available. VA space. abc.txt. Yep. See. Now step 1, step 2, step 3. Everything is completed now. Successfully built or not? Now all the
Yes, sir.
6 steps are completed or not? This all the 6 steps are completed and successfully built this, and successfully this is the image ID, and this image ID is tagged with today image. Okay, now let me type Docker images. Can we able to see this now?
Yes.
Okay, so if any of the commands fails, then the Docker image will not be created successfully. It will be stored in the cache only. Okay, it will. Now can you able to see that none with the name none? Earlier we have seen with the name none and none. So one is created with 2 minutes ago. That message we have seen. Now, did we able to see that?
No, sir.
No. Did I create it manually? Did I remove it manually? No, I did not remove it manually. I just created by correcting that one. I have created it. Now the image is created. From this image, let me create one container now. Okay. Docker run -it
-it
29 June. Machine name is 29. No. And OS name is, image is today image. The response was here runtime created content line started. What is the error, guys? I have used the forward slash. In Linux, it has to be backward slash, right? See, 29 June is already there by someone. So let me give some other name. It's better do not give any name starting with numeric values. So you can give any name. So you can choose any name, guys.
June, sir.
Okay, John. Okay, sir. Now Docker is created and container is created and we are inside it. See, TMP. Did you see this TMP?
Yes, sir.
Why this TMP has came as the work directory? Because while we are creating the Docker file, we have chosen TMP as our work directory. So that is the reason by default you are in now TMP only. Otherwise, where we were? We will be only up to here only. We will be in the top root directory. You will see only slash only. Okay. Just because you have mentioned what is your work directory needs to be. So that is the reason this TMP has come as your present work directory. And also let me type ls now. So this abc.txt is copied. Did I create abc.txt in this container?
No, sir.
It has come by default. Why? Because I have given the instruction to copy this abc.txt to /tmp folder. I have given that instruction at the time of creating the image file only. From that image only we have created this container. So that is the reason now we can able to see this abc.txt. And also we have added one more instruction to copy test file. This tst1 and tst2. How did this come? By default, these are unzipped. We have added test.tar.gz. Instead of adding that zip file, it has extracted and whatever the files we used for zipping, these are the two files we zipped, right? So these two files are extracted and copied here. Okay, now are you following? So like this, we can create the Docker file with our list of instructions, whatever the instructions we wanted to give, what kind of commands you want to give. Okay, so like that, we can mention the instructions and we can create the container out of it. Okay. And we have given one more instruction, right? Echo $my name. What you are seeing, Vinay. So generally all the variables are referred with the dollar only. So if you give echo $my name, you are seeing the my name or what is the value there inside my name. My name is the variable. This variable assigned with which value? Vinay at the time of creating the Docker file. So that is the reason now you can able to see Vinay here. But if you only type echo my name, what you will see? You will see my name only. After echo, whatever you type, that will only come as an output. But here, If you mention dollar, then the meaning of this variable will be changed. If you mention dollar, then it will take it as a variable only. So what is the value assigned to that variable, that will come as an output. Let me type one more, echo dollar name. Did I create this dollar name variable? Did I create any variable with this name? Did I assign any value to this? No. That
No,
is
sir.
the reason you are
No,
seeing
sir.
nothing. That is the reason you are seeing nothing. So this dollar name is a variable you are saying, but for this variable, no value is assigned. So that is the reason when you type echo dollar name, you are seeing nothing. Instead of that, if you type echo space just a name, you will see name as the output. So if you give dollar, then this command will consider this as a variable, and whatever the value is stored inside this variable, that will come as the output. If you only give the just name or any text, plain text, that will by default come as a output. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So now we will be discussing about volumes. Okay, so what is volume? So these things we'll discuss now. Volumes. Okay, so okay. Here volume is nothing but a directory or folder. In Windows we call it as a folder. Also we'll call it as directory sometimes. But in Linux we call them as directories. So here volume is a directory. It is just a directory. If anyone say what is volume, so volume is a directory inside the container. So where we create these directories, inside the container we create the directories, and that directory is called as a volume. But each directory is called as a volume? No. If you want to call a specific directory as a volume, then it should satisfy some conditions. Okay, so what are those conditions? We'll discuss that. So if it is a volume, this can be shared with other containers as well. Okay, volumes can be shared with other containers. Okay, volumes can be shared with other containers. Let's say you have created 10 containers. Out of 10 containers, you are saying one directory, some XYZ is the directory name. That directory you are calling it as a volume. Then that volume can be shared with other containers as well. So that means if you add any file to that, others can also able to access that file immediately. If others add any file to that, then you can also access the whatever the newly added files, you can also access those files. Okay, it is a shared drive. Okay, in the network we can share one drive, right? Yes or no? So that drive can be accessible by everyone. Whoever is having the access, everyone can able to access that drive. If someone adds to the file, then all the users can able to see that file or not? Everyone can able to see the file, and everyone can able to add the files, and they can read the files. So that we call it as a shared drive. Here also a volume is nothing but a directory inside the container, and that volumes can be shared with other containers also. Okay, so and one more important thing is, even if we stop the container, then also we can able to access the volume. Okay, in order to access the volume, you no need to always start the container. Even though the container is stopped, still you can access the volume. Okay, and so if we want to make any directory as a volume, so what we have to do is, first of all, we have to declare that as a volume at the time of creating the container only. Okay, whenever you are going to create any container, when you are creating that container only, you have to mention what folder you are going to make it as a volume. Okay. And per container, we can only declare one directory as a value, not multiple directories declared as volumes. Okay. You can declare the directory as a volume only at the time of creating container. Is this clear, guys? All these 4 points clear?
Yes, sir.
So here, these are the very important points. I mean, so here volume means it is a directory inside the container. So volumes can be shared with other containers also. If you create one container, and in that container, one directory you declared as a volume. So you can share that directory, that volume to any container, other containers, as well as host also. Host in the host in the sense the base machine. So this is your EC2 machine. Okay. EC2 machine. On EC2, you have created one container. This is one container and this is the other container. So in this container, you have created one folder. Okay. This is the folder. Okay. Volume. Okay. So this volume can be shared. Volume. This can be shared with this one as well. And also this can be shared with, this is the host, right? EC2. EC2 will also have its own file system. Yes or no? EC2 is also one machine. This container one is also one machine. This container two is also one machine. Like that.
Yes.
So this can be shared with this host as well. This host is having operating system of Linux. This container is having operating system as Ubuntu. This container is having operating system as CentOS. So here we are having 3 virtual machines. These 2 are virtual machines and this is the actual machine. You can share this one along with this one also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the same thing can be shared here as well. Volume. So now the same directory can be shared with multiple containers. So here, if this EC2 machine user adds some content here, this directory, the same can be viewable from this container as well as from this container. If we have opened this container and we have added some content to this volume, so automatically that will be reflected here as well and here as well. Okay, so this is kind of sharing one directory across multiple containers. Okay, the prerequisite is, if we want to declare any directory as a volume, we have to do it at the time of creating the container only. Okay, now we'll see that with an example so that you will get the better clarity. Yeah. Now let me create one Docker file, guys. Yeah. Let me create one Docker file, va space. Okay, let me I want to create one machine. I want to create one image with CentOS and work directory. These are optional. Okay, you know, right? Work directory. Even if I give it or even if I don't give it, it doesn't make any difference while creating the container. So only the settings will be changed. Okay. Now let me create one Docker file. Okay, this is the shared drive. Okay, I am making this as the shared volume. I am making this as volume. Like this, you have to mention at the time of creating the container only. Now let me save this. Okay. Now let me create. Sorry. Now we have created the Docker file. After that, what we have to do? We have to create the. Come on. We have created one Docker file. Next, what is the next step? We have to create the Docker image.
Docker image.
Docker build
/t Docker file.
What happened? Sorry. I'm always making the same mistake. Docker T. After that, we have to give the image name, right? Image underscore volume. Okay. Start. So here we have to, after -t, we have to mention the image name. What is our image name we want to be? So that is the name we have to give. We no need to give the Docker file again, right? So this is the Docker file we have created already. So this dot will take the Docker file as the source. Now let me execute this. Yeah. Now what happened? From CentOS, this is the ID created, volume running, removing intermediate container. So successfully built, tagged with image. Now let me see Docker images. Image volume is created. Now what happened? We have created one image. Okay. Yes or no? Now we can create the container. Docker run -it
/it
name. You can give any name. Call underscore container. Okay. And what is the
image volume
image underscore volume?
/bin/ sir reverse slash.
Yeah. So we have created successfully one image got created. Sorry, one container got created and we are inside the container now. Okay. Let me type ls.
Sir, can you scroll up?
Scroll up. Okay. Why? Okay.
More.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Yeah. See. Can you able to see this now? That means this one is the shared one. Okay. Can you able to see this? Bin, dev, all these are what? You can only see ls gives you the directories and the files. Yes or no? Here you can able to see this one also, right? What is the meaning of this one? If something is highlighted with different colors, what does it mean? It is having some special meaning. Yes or no? Whenever you execute any command, if something
Yes,
is
sir.
highlighted in colors, what does it mean? If something is highlighted in colors means that is having some special meaning, right? In the same way, here you can see like this. That means this one is the shared drive. Okay. Now we have created this we have created this volume in container called wall underscore container. In this one, we have given this. Now, let me create one more container. Okay. At the time of creating container only, we have to set the volume. Yes or no? That is the thumb rule. At the time of creating the container only, we have to get the volumes from the containers. From which container you want to get the volume. Okay. Now let me create one more container. Okay. One more container. Docker run -it. Okay. And what is the name? Name. Name anything. Wall underscore container 2. So this is our new container name. Okay. And while creating the container only, we have to define what is the volume you are going to share from the other containers. That information we have to get. Okay. So what is the, from where you want to get the value? Privileged. Privileged equals to true. And hyphen volumes from. Volumes from. What is the container we have created earlier? All container. Next. What is the image name? CentOS. Okay. So here, no need to worry, guys. So I have added two extra parameters. Privileged equals to true, volumes from this one. Only this is the thing I have given. So here Docker run -it name, and this is the image. CentOS is the image we have to use, and slash. All these we have done earlier also. While creating the Docker container, we were giving the same thing. But here I have added two extra parameters. What are those two extra parameters? Privileged equals to true. That means whatever this container, this volume container is having the access and slash data folder, same access you are also getting. This container also getting the same kind of access. So that is the reason I am giving privileged equals to true. And volumes from which container you want to get the volume. That information you have to give, right? From which container? Wall container is the one. In that container, we have created one directory as the volume. So we have to get that. We want to get the access for that volume as well. We want to share the data from that volume. So that is the reason. Hey container, I am going to create you with the name Walcon2 is our new container name. This container, for this container, I am giving the instructions. This is my container name, and you get the volume from this container and get the access, all the access. That is the meaning of this command. Do you have any questions? So before executing
No.
this, do you have any questions? I have added two extra parameters to give the instructions. If I don't give any of these two instructions, what will happen, guys? Only a container will be created. That's it. But what is my intention? I want to get one volume from some other container. That instructions also we have to give the OS, right? Hey OS, while creating this container, consider these two steps as well. What are those steps? Get the volume from that container. That is the first step. What is the second step? And take the complete access, whatever the container is having on that folder, and give me the same access to me as well. So these are the two instructions we are giving at the time of creating the container. If we do not give these two instructions, what will happen? A normal container will be created. We will not see any folder. We will not see any volume here. Okay. So like this, earlier we have created one Docker file, guys. In the Docker file, I have mentioned work directory as /tmp. I am giving an extra instruction. Hey, after creating the container, you don't go here and other. You directly go to /tmp folder and stay there, because that is my work directory. So if we give that instruction in the Docker file, whenever we create the container, by default, we will be in /tmp folder only. Otherwise, where we will be? Otherwise, we will be in root directory only. But are we in root directory after executing that command? No, we were in /tmp. Our work directory was /tmp. If I do not mention that instruction in the Docker file, my my working directory would be /root only. Okay, in the same way, now I want to create one container, and while creating the container only, I want to get the volume from some other container. That is the reason I am giving these two. This is to get the same access as the what other container is having, and this is to get the volume from. Something went wrong. Command not found. Docker /bin/bash. Wall content. Did I give anything wrong, guys? All the spellings are correct. Privileged, privileged, privileged equals to true. Hyphen volumes from. Docker yes. What happened, guys? Docker. If I execute Docker, that command has to come, right? So did you guys the mistake, guys? Where are we now? Come on, guys. Where are we now? We are inside the container.
Container.
We are inside the container. We are executing the command. So we have to come out of that, right? First, exit. Yeah. Okay. Now execute this one. Yep. Wall container is not available. No such container. Is wall container not available? Yes, see, the spelling I have given is wrong. VOL container. This is the name I have given. The same name we have to give now as well. Nothing wrong, guys. So here the name is wall underscore. I have given the wrong spelling. I have given wrong, right? So I have to give the same name now as well. Here, wall. Now the command has successfully executed and we are inside the container. Yes or no? This is the
Yes,
Yes,
command.
sir.
Okay, I executed it. We haven't seen any warnings and we haven't seen any errors. Okay, and here you can see 887F2. Okay, PWD. We are a true directory. Now a container is created. The container name is vol underscore con2. I mean volume container 2. Okay, now let me type ls. Can you able to see this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like this, we can share we can create volume. What is volume? A volume is nothing but a directory only. At the time of creating the container only, we can decide what is volume. After that, we can share that volume with any other containers and also with the host machine as well. Okay. So as of now, how did I create this volume? Where did I mention this? You may have doubt. Sir, I don't want to create the Docker file. Okay, I don't want to create any Docker file. In the Docker file, sir, you have mentioned VOLUMG volume, and after that you have given the directory name. And after that you have created the image, and after that you have created the container. Yes or no? We have created the file and the image and container. You don't want to do that. You want to do it in a single step. How can we create the single step? Docker run -it -name
New container name
to call underscore container
3.
3. After that,
Privilege.
there is one flag called -v is there. If I want to add my own name, what I have given -name is the parameter. If I give this parameter, this will be taken as the name for my container. If I do not give parameter also, container will be created, but it will take some random funny names. Okay. So if I want my container to be my own name, then I am giving this parameter. In the same way, while creating the container only, I will be mentioning my volume name. What is our volume name? Test volume. Test volume is our volume name. -v stands for you have to mention what is the volume for this container. If we do not mention, what will happen? Nothing will be considered as volume. Earlier also we executed the command. Earlier also we used docker run command to create the container, but we did not mention -v. So then what will happen? Docker container will be created, but no folder will be considered as volume. But here now I am mentioning the volume name. -v is, if I mention a name along with -v, that name will be taken as volume. That means a directory will be created and the directory will be assigned with this name, and that is the shared for, I mean, volume for all the containers. Okay, -name is over. This is over. After that, what we have to do? We have to give the OS, I mean, image name. If you miss anything, we have given -it. Name is this one.
The Docker name is wrong.
Doc. Docker run -it. Name is this. Name is this. And volume is this. And the image is this. And /bin/. Now execute this. Again, we have executed the command inside the container. We have to come out of this container first. Okay. See, now a container is created. So we are inside the container. Now type ls. See, test volume is this one. Okay, now this is the shared drive. Now we'll see. Okay, tomorrow I will show you how to update that volume from one container so that how it will be visible from other containers which are shared the same volume, and how to share that volume with the host. Okay, these things we'll discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, today what you just have to do is you have to just to practice how to create these volumes. Okay, and how to understand this one. Wall contour, this. What is the meaning of this one? You can do that. Okay, and also I will explain what is the meaning of this one and what is the meaning of this one. This test volume and this one. What is the meaning of these two? Okay.
Okay, sir.
If you want, you can copy this. I'm just sharing in the chart window. You can copy this. Okay, guys. So see, I have created one more container, Docker run -it volume container 4. And for this container 4, where am I taking the volume? From this container 3. In this container, what is the volume? Test volume is the volume. This folder we are considering it as volume. So for the container 4, I am taking volume from container 3 and I executed this. After that, I have typed ls. Did we see test volume here? If this is the normal folder, normal drive, we wouldn't see here, right? Here you will see only the files and folders. We have just
Yes, sir.
created this and we have taken the volume from container 3. In the container 3, what is the volume? Test volume is this is the volume for this container 3. Okay, so that is the reason we are able to see here as well. Okay, now this test volume is shared between container 3 and the container 4. Okay, yeah, practice this command and see, execute them successfully. Try to remember this privileged equals to true means we are giving the complete access. Whatever the root container is having the access, the same access will be given to the other container which is sharing the same volume. Okay, and here you have to mention from which container you are going to take the volume. Okay, so practice this, guys. So we'll discuss the remaining topics in tomorrow's session.